Hey everybody, this is going to be my first unboxing, so if it sucks, not my fault. I'm giving it a try. But as you can see, that's my new camera I got, so now everything will stop looking like crap. A friend of mine from JVC got it for me. But this is a really slick camera. Everything I've read about and everything I've seen, it's really nice. My current camera I'm using is a JVC. It's actually part of the same series, except for it's 8 years old. So, granted, it's 8 years old, so that's part of the problem with it looking bad. Not the fact that the camera's bad. One of the real cool things about this, you can see right on the box, or hopefully you can, is that it's a hard drive camera, and it's 80 gigs of hard drive space. So I have the benefit of not having to have memory cards, and it also records very fast, so you don't have to worry about memory cards recording slowly. I guess I'll start opening this now, since that's what everyone does at this point. If I can get it open, because they always have those wonderful security seals. But typical for JVC, they've got an insane amount of manuals, paperwork, and then you've got your big manual, which is ridiculous. If you can't operate a camera, basically, and you need that, there's problems. And then, of course, the application CD, which you don't need with most of these, especially not with Windows 7. If you have older versions of Windows, you may need it, just simply because the older version of Windows just don't have the drivers in it. But usually when you plug this in, at least with the old one, and it should be with this too, it just shows up as a hard drive. So it shows up as a removable hard drive. You just pull the files to your computer and do whatever you want with them. I usually use After Effects with mine. And luckily it's the same exact power adapter, so I don't have to change power adapters. But it looks like the battery's different, which sucks, which means that I can't reuse my old battery like I wanted to. Lens cap. Another thing I did know that I'm not as happy with is my current one has a built-in lens cap, so you just flick it on and off. This one I actually have to carry a lens cap. AV cables, not high def, only component or composite or whichever it is, you know, the old style. They actually give you a USB cable, which is kind of amazing. It's one of the few products in the market that does. And then they ship it in this really great bag, which I'm being serious, I'm not being facetious, but it's nice because it really protects it well. As you can see, it's a very small camera. Really, really nice, slick, full HD. One of the nicer screens I've seen, and it's supposed to be their laser touch, which I don't know what the hell that means, but it's laser touch, so you gotta like it. It's really easy. It fits in your palm of your hand really well. It's got a two-way hand strap. Even with hands my size, this is still pretty comfortable. Another feature it has is it supports SD cards directly. Should be SD. Yeah, micro SD cards. So if you run out of hard drive space, God forbid, which is about, I believe, 7 hours of HD film with the way it encrypts everything, you're going to end up, then you can add another, I think up to 16 gigs now, because that's the biggest card they've got. But yeah, all my videos now are going to be shot with this, so everyone should be a lot happier. It's going to look a lot better. And you see I've got my unboxing rig set up. I'm going to have a couple more vids. I got some new parts coming that are kind of exciting, so you guys will get to see it. Keep watching and have fun recording videos. Okay guys, I decided to do something a little extra for this one. As you can see up on your screen right now, I put on the actual information they've got on JVC's said website if you were a little more interested in what's going on. Two corrections to make in post here. I didn't mean to say encryption, I meant to say compression. It's getting a little late in the night and I've had a rough day. But anyways, over to the features here. It's full 1920 by 1080 recording. This thing does shoot beautiful video. I'm actually going to probably do another video tonight, so you're going to see that. You can read down the features. I'm not going to read all of them. One of which is not right is the 120 gig hard drive. That's only if you get that model. But they never tell you that, of course. One of the big things to put on here is that it's 24 megabits a second recording. which is equivalent to almost Blu-ray. I don't think that's as high as Blu-ray if I remember correctly. It may be for some of the Blu-rays, but I don't think all, because every Blu-ray that I rip is not like that. But you can see it's a really solid camera. They got some accessories there on the side that don't matter. But next one we got here is shooting. Now I didn't take a whole thing of this page because I had a bunch of pictures on how their super lux, which doesn't come on this camera but it's supposed to make it better at night, and their image stabilization, which is on this camera. A couple of things I will note that I didn't note in the original video was that it has time-lapse record, which is pretty cool. I don't know how many people watch my channel that are actual photographers like I am, but I use it a lot on my D80 and my D3000 and my D2X. If I'm doing, I want to get like a flower growing or something like that, it looks really cool when you do this, and that's when you take one picture, every second, every minute, whatever you want to do. This camera's really cool. This video recorder is actually pretty cool because it'll do between 1 second and 80-second intervals between pictures, and it'll do it automatically, and it'll do it at HD. It's not as good, again, as my D2X or even my D80, but it's still a really nice feature to have in there, especially for if you're someone that doesn't want to buy, a couple $1,000 just camera. This does both, and this also shoots, good still images. Now, I believe you can see on there, the one things I did leave on there is it's got a button right on it, which I never use because I always do a lot of stuff in post. But for uploading directly to YouTube is just a button on the bottom. You just press it, it does it. I don't use it, but a lot of people like that. One thing I think is very funny down here is on approximate recording times using battery, which is kind of obvious. The only time you put a recording time on there is if you're using a battery, if you're putting battery life. But the battery they give you with it, I believe, is the 1 hour and 40-minute battery. I love how they have continuous recording time is 3 hours and 5 minutes, and then actual recording time is 1 hour and 40 minutes. I don't get this. But whatever. Another interesting thing to note above that for still images is they had to put an asterisk for it, but it's just because of the way their file system is, it can't support more than 9,999 images in a folder, just because of the way the file system's set up, it just can't handle it. So that's why they put, 2 gigs is 7590, and then anything above that's just, ridiculous. And honestly, this is not really meant to be a digital camera. It's going to shoot okay pictures, but it's not, it's not really, serious. If you're taking pictures, I would go get a $100 or $150 Nikon and get a point and shoot that does a lot better pictures, because you can get, I think, 15 megapixel now with a Nikon for like $250, $300 and get a superb camera. They've got your recording times here, and for some reason they don't have the hard drive version listed here, but you can see on the 32 gig model they're saying 7 hours and 30 minutes, and this is an 80 gig, so 2.5 times above that is what you're supposed to get. I've never seen that before. I have the old 30 gig model, and that was DVD quality, and that one only got 4 hours on 30 gigs, so I couldn't see this getting that much unless they're using some severe compression, which as far as I understand they're not. They're actually using H.264. Next image I put up there was the sharing, which they're just showing you the YouTube and their software that they use. But some people really, like using that software. They don't want to spend the money that I spend on Premiere Pro and Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. And CS5 is sick, just for anyone that doesn't have it yet. Final thing I put on there was specifications. The yellow bar was mine, and you can see the differences between the models. But to note, the 300 or the 32 gig, the big one on the end. Yes, it's got some nice features, but it's also about $200 or $300 more if you were to buy it, and I don't think it's worth it. As long as you've got 80 gigs of hard drive, you've really got a full-feature camera. You really don't need more unless you're doing a lot of stuff in dark and otherwise. But I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and keep on going. I'm going to try to get another video out tonight. Have fun, guys.